Ibu semua,
Selamat pagi.
Pagi Bu Sri, apa kabar?
Pagi
Pagi
Bu
semua.
Ade, apa kabar?
Selamat pagi Bu Ade Mulyana.
Selamat pagi.
Ibu Dewi, terima kasih. Good morning, Pak Charles.
Selamat
Good morning.
pagi.
Thank you for being here. I was thinking that I just joined another link, so I just a bit misunderstanding because I just like three of us in the link. So I was thinking there's another link. Okay, sorry for a bit late here. Thank you.
bisa kita mulai, Bu Ayu?
Bentar Pak Emma, saya lagi mau bunuh Pak Heri dulu sebentar.
Oh iya,
Selamat pagi Bu Ade. Mohon izin menyampaikan, ternyata dari pihak WR1 baru saja saya mendapat informasi beliau berhalangan untuk memberi sambutan Ibu. Jadi silakan dimulai kata beliau.
Jadi
Karena ada
Pak
rapat
Rektor
lain.
masuk ya. Baik
Betul.
ya, terima kasih Pak Dewo ya. Sebentar, saya tadi agak salah masuk link, jadi saya mau kabar lagi kepala OR-nya sebentar.
Dewi, jadi dari Undiksa tidak ada sambutan?
Tidak ada sambutan dari Undik saya Bu Ayu.
Oh iya,
Teh Emma jernih suaranya.
kenapa?
Teh Emma suaranya jernih. Kalau suara
Jernih,
saya mas, anu Bu.
jernih, jernih sekali.
Oke. Ya, soalnya pakai headset nih.
Oh iya, saya sedang flu, jadi suaranya agak gimana ini. Saya juga tadi salah link, Bu Ayu. Kok bisa, saya bingung kok baru bertiga terus. Pesertanya kemana? Ternyata link saya salah. Sama dengan Bu Ade.
Wow. Oh,
Ya, izin menyampaikan Bapak dan Ibu peserta yang sudah hadir di kolom di layar hari ini, pada kolom chat sudah disediakan virtual background yang bisa untuk dipasang di layar masing-masing. Terima kasih.
Apakah Pak Heri sudah masuk, Bu Ayu?
Ya, kita tunggu kabar dari Bu Ade sebentar lagi.
Oke.
Ya, kita tunggu 4 menit lagi sehingga kita akan
Oke,
mulai pukul 8.15 menit.
baiklah.
Ya.
Mungkin sambil jalan aja deh kita mulai. Nanti kan sudah sampai ke tadi pukul 8.15 ya. Bu Emma bisa mulai
Iya,
saja.
baik. Bapak dan Ibu sebentar lagi, mohon izin untuk para peserta yang hadir di sini yang belum menggunakan virtual background, mohon segera menggunakan virtual background yang sudah kami sediakan pada link chat, di kolom chat, maaf. Terima kasih. Kemudian untuk Ibu Emma, kami silakan.
Oke, baik, terima kasih Bu Ayu, Bu Ade. Webinar seri ke-65, Organisasi Riset Arkeologi Bahasa dan Sastra, Pusat Riset Bahasa Sastra dan Komunitas. Yang terhormat, Kepala Organisasi Riset Arkeologi Bahasa dan Sastra, Dr. Heri Yogaswara. Yang saya hormati, Kepala Pusat Riset Bahasa Sastra dan Komunitas, Ade Mulyana, SPDM Hum. Yang saya hormati, para narasumber webinar, Prof. Charles dari Universitas Moncton, Kanada, Profesor Dr. Niluh Putu Sri Andiani, SPDM Hum, dari Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha, Yeni Yulianti MA dari Pusat Riset Bahasa Sastra dan Komunitas BRIN. Yang saya hormati rekan-rekan panitia webinar dari Undiksa, dari BRIN, serta Bapak Ibu peserta webinar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera. Perkenalkan, saya Emma dari PRBSK, selaku pewara pada acara webinar pagi ini. Alhamdulillah, pagi ini kita pantas mengucapkan syukur kehadirat Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, karena berkat rahmat dan ridhonya, kita dapat bersemaya di ruang virtual dalam rangka webinar seri ke-65 tentang Exploring Kata Kolok dan Bisindo, Sign Language, Culture, and EFL Education for Deaf Students in Indonesia, menjelajahi Kata Kolok dan Bisindo, bahasa isyarat, budaya, dan pendidikan EFL untuk siswa tunarungu di Indonesia. Hadirin yang berbahagia, agar acara ini memperoleh keberkahan dan kelancaran, marilah kita menundukkan kepala sejenak untuk berdoa sesuai dengan agama dan kepercayaan masing-masing. Berdoa disilakan. Selesai. Terima kasih. Menyimak lagu kebangsaan Indonesia Raya. Mas Bayu. Selanjutnya, sambutan dari Kepala Organisasi Riset Bahasa Sastra dan Komunitas. Selanjutnya sambutan dari Kepala Organisasi Riset Arkeologi Bahasa dan Sastra, yang sekaligus juga akan membuka webinar secara resmi. Kepada Dr. Heri Jogaswara, kami silakan. Pak
He
Heri?
might be not on the link yet, so might be I will be able before him. Okay.
Okay,
So
that's okay. That's okay, Bu Ade. This speech from you. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the time, Bu Emma. Good morning, everyone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam. The Honorable Research Organization, the head of the organization of Archaeology, Language, and Literature, Dr. Regi Jogaswara, will come later. Of course, I would like to say good morning for all the speakers, distinguished speakers, also to the Honorable friends from some Undiksa, distinguished speakers, Professor Charles Goucher from University de Montcalm, Canada. Thank you very much, Prof. Charles, for being here. Thank you very much for joining us in our webinar. Of course, I would like to say good morning to Professor Dr. Niluh Putu Sri Adnyani from Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha. Good morning, Ibu Sri. Nice to meet you again. After 3 years, my visit come to Buleleng. Thank you very much for being here, Bu Sri.
Sama-sama Ibu Ade.
Yeah. Okay, also good morning to Ibu Yeni Yulianti, researcher from our research center. Researcher on Bisindo, a sign language, at Research Center for Language, Literature and Community. Thank you. And also I would like to say welcome to our webinar, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests and all participants. Selamat pagi, everyone. Yeah. On behalf of the Research Center for Language, Literature and Community, I'm honored to share reflections on the importance of research concerning sign languages and education for deaf students in Indonesia. Of course, I would like to say thank you very much for Director Uniksa, also Professor Sri Pak Dewo, everyone who support this project from Uniksa, and everyone who has supported the initiative to conduct the webinar. We express our gratitude. We hope that it will lead to the future research collaboration. Really, thank you very much for making this event happen. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests and all participants, the webinar will provide a broad insight into Kata Kolok and Bisindo. It's a very nice topic to talk about. If we talk about Kata Kolok, of course, it is a unique village sign language used by the deaf community in Bengkala, Bali. It develops naturally in this isolated village due to hereditary deafness, making it a real example of spontaneous form sign language. And I do believe that studying Kata Kolok helps us understand how natural languages emerge and evolve. In contrast, we talk about Bisindo, as we call Bahasa Isyarat Indonesia, is Indonesia's standardized national sign language, widely used in education, government, and the media. Developed to serve the broader Indonesian deaf community, Bisindo differ from village languages like Kata Kolok in both origin and structure. It's gonna be a very nice topic we will see today. And I think that a deep understanding these languages is crucial for creating effective English as foreign language. Teaching strategy, design especially for deaf students, thereby enhancing their educational outcome and communication skill. And in this very nice occasion, I think that considering the rich linguistic diversity, ladies and gentlemen, these languages represent among Indonesian deaf community, I firmly believe that research on both Kata Kolok and Bisindo is very significant to conduct. Such research not only support, I think, better education and cultural preservation and social inclusion for deaf Indonesian, but also play a crucial role in improving English as a foreign language. And I think that it's gonna tailor for deaf students, thereby expanding their learning opportunity and community skill. Ladies and gentlemen, considering that the belief that we will see that this project will be very interesting if we come to the research collaboration. BRIN play a vital role in advancing research and communities in Indonesia. Is one of our concern, especially talking about deaf a student, focusing not only a unique languages in like Kata Kolok or Bisindo, but also I think that improving English as foreign language for deaf students. This research have enhancing educational access, community skill, supporting greater inclusion and opportunity for deaf learners across the nation. So we hope that the webinar will provide valuable insight and foster greater collaboration in research, ultimately strengthening effort to support the education development and cultural preservation of deaf students. We wish everyone a productive and enlightenment discussion. Welcome to Research Center for Language Literature Community. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Bu Ade, for the speech. And next, Pak Heri is already here. The next speech is from the head of Organisasi Riset Arbasra, Dr. Heri Jogaswara. Dr. Heri, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you for Pewara. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan untuk kita semua dan Rahayu. And also very good morning to all of you here, especially the Honorable Rector of Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha, or representing the Head of Research Center for Language, Literature and Community, Bu Ade, distinguished speaker, Professor Charles Goucher from Université de Moncton, Canada, whose pioneering research on Kata Kolok significantly advanced our understanding of village sign language. Very good morning, and sorry if I mispronounce about your university. Professor Dr. Niluh Putusri Adriani from Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha is a renowned expert in deaf education in English and as foreign language. Of course, this morning I'm very happy to attend this webinar because I think the related with the sign language, we I think pay attention as a research organization. Yeah, because I think if we talk about the different ability, yeah, there are two research organization I think focus on this research. Our research organization and a research organization of social science and humanity. And maybe as you know, what is the nature of research in BRIN is actually we call interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and transdisciplinary, meaning to say if we do research not only in the single point of view, single of the discipline of research, we always looking for and work with different kind of science. Regarding this theme today about the exploring Kata Kolok and Bisindo sign language, culture, and FL education for deaf student in Indonesia, I think this is a very interesting topic. And then I have personal experience yeah, with this team because I think 35 years ago.
Wih, Ki bunyi bocor kertas-kertas tuh gininya.
Minta tolong suaranya yang di-mute-kan saja.
Okay. Regarding with this theme about the exploring Kata Kolok and Bisindo, I was I think 35 years ago I was participate in the one research in we call in Ciparai of the district of Bandung, because I think there is also a community, but I couldn't say maybe like a deaf community because I think the population just like 10 or 15% of population were deaf, yeah. But they also create what we call the symbol of science, yeah, in language, yeah. Of course, I think this is quite different with the colloq, yeah, because so many researchers also pay attention related with the language. But I think in Ciparai of right now is we call Bandung Barat, West Bandung, there was no really formal education or formal research related with the deaf community. Yeah. At the time, my work as anthropologist is try to understand why the deaf community was happened. Yeah, because of the intramarriage. Yeah, because of intramarriage in the hamlet, something like that. But I think based on the two experience, I think I talked already with Bu Ade to try to improve or try to look for more intensive research, yeah, related with the sign language, yeah. Because if we talk about just like Kolok and Cikatul of district of Bandung, they are what we call the like a village community, yeah. And of course, as village community, their everyday life is quite different with something with urban, and also people migrate, yeah, from one place to another, and of course.
Silakan Pak Heri dilanjutkan.
Hello, I think I have problem with my yeah.
No, I can hear your voice. Please
Okay.
continue.
Sorry, maybe accidentally stop the microphone. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the good idea. Try to discuss about the sign language based on experience. I think the intensive research in Kolok, but I think we can also expand to others community that the sign language is really important about this. I encourage everyone to participate actively, engage thoughtfully, and share your perspective as we embark on this enriching academic journey. I think without further ado, I hereby declare the webinar titled Exploring Kata Kolok and Bisindo Sign Language, Culture and EFL Education for Deaf Students in Indonesia, taking place today, June 3rd, 2025, officially open. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi Santi Om, and Rahayu Rahayu untuk kita semua. Terima kasih.
Salam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Thank you very
wabarakatuh.
much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pak Heri, for the inspiring speech. And okay, dear audience, it's time for the main program, that is the webinar. But let me read a pantun before the webinar. I'm sorry that the pantun was written in Indonesian. Okay. Sinar mentari hangatkan udara, elok dan indah menghias biang lala. Walau tak ada kata, tak ada suara, kata kolok dari Bengkala memahamkan kita. Ke pasar kita membawa rupiah, ke ulang tahun bawalah kado. Walau tak berkata dan tak bersuara, bercakaplah kita dengan Bisindo. Thank you. Dear audience, it's time for the program, and the webinar will be moderated by Pak Arif. Pak Arif, are you ready? Yes, Pak Arif, are you
Okay.
ready? Okay, Pak Arif,
Yes, I'm
the time
ready.
is yours. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to Emma Maimunah as what is it called in English? Pewara, ya. Good morning, all participants. Good morning to Professor Gocher. How to pronounce this? Wait a minute. Okay. Good morning to all the speakers attending this seminar. Good morning to Professor Gocher. Good morning to Bu Niluh Putu Sri Atnyani. And good morning to Yeni Yulianti as a speaker in today's webinar. And also to my honor, Pak Heri Yugaswara, Bu Ade Mulyana as Kepala Pusat Riset and Kepala Pusat Organisasi Riset in BRIN. Hopefully that everyone here is in a good condition and healthy condition. I tell you frankly that this topic is very, very interesting for me, especially because it is relatively new for me personally, about talking about bahasa kata kolok and Bisindo, ya, bahasa isyarat Indonesia. And let's let's participate actively in this discussion after this, yeah, because it will also, of course, broaden our horizon, yeah, about this relatively new topic. Okay, I will let you know for all the audience here the structure of this presentation. We will have 3 main speakers here, mainly from Professor Charles Gocher from University of Moncton, Canada, and will be followed by Professor Niputu Atnyani, and the last will be presented by Yeni Yulianti. They will speak about the same topic, yeah, about bahasa kolok, kata kolok, and the system of sign language in Indonesia, which is called Bisindo. Okay, not to prolong this session. Hope that everything will be running well from now until the next 2 hours. Yeah, the next 2 hours we will discuss about this. And for the first presenter, to your honor, Professor Gocher, please time and place for yours.
Om Swastiastu. Pertama-tama terima kasih banyak telah memberi saya kesempatan untuk mempresentasikan karya kami saat ini tentang kolok di Bengkalo. Of course, my bahasa Indonesia is too basic to make my presentation in bahasa Indonesia, so I will speak in English. And since English is not my first language too, I'm French Canadian, so we will need to work together. If you don't understand anything, please feel free to tell me if things are not clear for you. I will share my presentation now, so it might help you to.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
Prof. I'll give you 40 minutes. 40 minutes, yeah. Yeah, 40 minutes roundabout. But if you need to prolong, this is conditional. Okay.
Yeah, it will be less than 40 minutes since our work now is just beginning. We have done some preliminary study already, and today I'll present you what we would like to do in Bengkalo for the next 2 years. So that's a bit of my presentation, what you see now in the PowerPoint. We'll have a little history of the project, some socio-demographic infos, and I'll talk to you a bit about what we already did in Bengkalo and what we would like to do. So today I'm really looking forward to have some discussion with you to see maybe some inputs you can give us and have some insight for us to develop. So in general, well, Bengkalo, as you know, is part of Buleleng Regency, and now there is 44 deaf person in Bengkalo, which represent more or less 1.5% of the total population, which is more or less 20 times the normal representation of deaf people in settings all around the world. So they are divided in 7 Pasek and 13 Dadia. Bengkala, as a lot of the first speakers said, is a shared sign community, what we call a shared sign community, which means that people in Bengkala can communicate all together through sign language. As other community compared to Bengkala, wedding are the main cause of the presence of the DFNB3 gene, which is causing deafness. So that's the reason why there is so many Kolok in Bengkalo. So a bit about the language that has been already well studied. It's called Kata Kolok that's how people from Bengkalo call it. and it's a sign language shared by deaf and hearing people. We evaluate that around 50% of the villagers of the community are able to communicate with Kolok in some capacity, which some are very good in sign language, others are more or less able to communicate. What's special about Kata Kolok is that it's an indigenous sign language, which means that it has almost no link with other sign language in the world, which is very, very unique. It tends to change, of course, because now there is more and more influences coming from other sign language or other deaf community here in Indonesia or from other countries. There is a lot that has been written on Kata Kolok since the 20 or 30 years, 30 past years. And what we see now is that there is some blending in the language with other sign language that exist or in Indonesia or that are coming from abroad. Since 2007, the Kolok of Bengkalo have access to normal or ordinary education. There is an inclusive school that has been created, and now the way it works is that in the school there is a separate class where deaf children can learn regular ordinary they can follow the ordinary curriculum as other children of the village. Now there is only one child from Bengkalo that is attending this class. The other pupils are from other villages around Bengkalo. So a bit about the study itself. In 2016 or 15, a student of mine, Jessica Bro, which is the co-presenter today, but she cannot. I think I saw her, but it's very late in Canada now. So I will be alone in presenting. But Jessica Bro just came to me and say that she wanted to study Bengkalo, which was a well-known community in the deaf studies area, and we decided to see if there is a purpose or if it's something we can do. So we began slowly and exploring the possibility of doing a more ethnographical study, because we realized quite fast that there was a lot of studies about Kata Kolok on a linguistic field, but less on social dynamics and how Kolok and deaf people interact with hearing people in Bengkalo. So she began her doctorate studies on this topic, and this was for us the phase one, a preliminary study to understand what's going on in this village now. So she visited in 2007 and then went back for a long stay in 2018. And she used Verge's evocation method to document social representation of Kolok themselves, so how they see their place in the village as a deaf person and what's their way, their social representation of other villagers and their language. So we conduct 30 what we call evocation interviews in this in this preliminary study, and we also ask the children of the inclusive school to draw, because they are children, so it's a bit difficult. It's a bit more difficult to ask them to explain what they think of Kolok people, normal and Kata Kolok. So we ask them to draw some, to make some drawing, and we ask all of the children of the inclusive school, which was 71% at this time. So a bit of what we found at this, with this method and with this people, is of course that regarding the attitude of Kolok toward deafness, is that more and more there is newcomers, people from deaf from other villages that are coming, especially women that married men in the village. And those people have a very positive image of the social dynamics between deaf and hearing people in Bengkalo. Of course, a lot of them focus on the sameness. They felt that they are the same as the hearing persons in Bengkalo. And there were, of course, no emphasis in their way of seeing deafness on medical aspects or any biological difference. We thought at the beginning, as a research team, we had the hypothesis that they will focus on sign language, on hands, to explain on their unique way of communicating, to explain their deafness or their specificity, but at last it wasn't very significant. And of course, what we saw now, it's that the younger persons, the younger deaf persons in Bengkalo there is a change in their social representations. So the representations of the younger deaf people in Bengkalo is more positive on their situation, on their language, on their way of being in Bengkalo. In another attempt to understand the social representations of people in Bengkalo, we ask people, children of the inclusive school, to draw what was a Kolok person, what was a normal person, and what was Kata Kolok. So that was very fun to analyze, and we focus now. We already have an article published on this, and this one focused more on how they see their Kolok classmate. Of course, they, as the previous study with Kolok people themselves, there were no emphasis on stereotype signs of deafness, for example, the broken hair or the usual, what we represent as what we use to represent deafness. They use particularly, they were more eager to use names, just drawing a person. When we ask them draw a Kolok person, they draw a little girl and put her name under it. So it gives us some insight about especially what they think of the difference. So they doesn't see any physical difference between people. And compared to the Kolok themselves, they put more emphasis on hands. So the drawing, in the drawing, we saw a lot of people moving hands to represent deaf people. So probably in the next year, if we continue with this technique, we'll try to document how this representation changed over the years. And this will be something we would like to continue with. So that's what has been done from now on. And we are now in what we call phase 2 of the project, which is more an ethnographic phase, in the sense that we would like to make what we call, what Gertz call a thick description of the social interaction in Bengkalo. Of course, the first step for us will have been to learn the language of Kolok people in Bengkalo, which is not easy because we're very far as a Canadian teams, and because there is there is not a lot. Now there is some, but there is not a lot of way of learning Kata Kolok if you're not in the village. The tools we had at this time when we began the study were more what Connie DeVos did, but we know that now there is an application to learn Kata Kolok also. Maybe we'll have someone who will talk about it later. This step was very important for us as anthropologists and social worker, because we wanted to integrate into the lives of Kolok, not just arrive there and have access to a translation of their life or their way of thinking. So this has been very, very important to us, and we're still learning, and we're still doing this. We're still in this process. This first step was also marked by an attempt to revisit the ethnographic data through common knowledge that exists now. So because of the extensive ethnographic studies that exist now are a bit dated, we wanted to update these data. For some reason, there is a decrease of presence of native Kolok in Bengkalo. There is less and less people that are born in Bengkalo, that lives in Bengkalo, because of the weddings and women who left the village to other villages. Presence of course, children that attend the school also, which changed the dynamics, and more since at least 10 or 15 years, visiting tourists from all over the world that comes to Bengkalo. This also changed the dynamics in giving people some more of an international experience of their community. Kolok in Bengkalo now learned some international sign. They integrate in Kata Kolok. They learned some Bisindo also, so it changed a lot the dynamics. So that's why we wanted to update the data that already exists.
Tidak bisa kalau Zoom. Tidak berfungsi.
Yeah. So second step of this project, and thanks to Pak Budi for helping us in this process. We tried at first to document mythologies, so the explanation that already exists on why there is Kolok in Bengkalo, more related to what the Kapela Dat has to say about it, and documenting also mediatic representation of the Desa Kolok, the village of deaf people, that has a very huge presence in the social media and on the regular media too. We also are in a process, but we are also documenting kinship and connection between Kolok and hearing people using already existing data, just to have an idea of all the relationships and links between people in Bengkalo. So now what's to do? It will be to explore the linguistic situations that is now occurring in Bengkalo between hearings people level of proficiency in Kata Kolok. That's the first study we would like to do when we will have the ethical approval of the BRIN. Especially, we're still in the process of having this to begin the real one-on-one work with Kolok people. And because we were also waiting for to recruit a doctorate student to help us doing that, now we have Lindsay Flowers that has joined the team officially, because she was still waiting for scholarship to be approved. The third step will be to really document the everyday life, and this will be especially the task of Lindsay, and she will conduct a gender-based analysis of this. We'll have to also document all the activities specific to Kolok, and have at last social interaction, interviews, live stories with to understand how they interact with hearing people. There is a lot of challenge doing all this, as I said, because we're very far. Canada is at the other side of the earth, so we are very far from Bengkalo, but also because of linguistic barrier. And one other challenge that is now that we try to overcome is what we call the folklorization and tourism in Bali, that because there is so many people that comes to the village now to see deaf people, they have developed this discourse on themselves as like something fixed that they give to people who stay 1 day or 2 days in Bengkalo. So we have to overcome this and say that we need to understand more deeply what they live, what are their life, and so this is something very important to overcome. Also, one other challenge we have, especially when trying to learn Kata Kolok, is that deaf people in Bengkalo are very, very good in adapting themselves to fluent Kata Kolok speaker. So it's very difficult sometimes to learn the real words they use to communicate. So we have to be very patient and be there, look at them communicating together to learn real Kata Kolok, not just iconic mimes or iconic word they use to make themselves understand. So that's about it for me. I will prefer now to give the opportunity of people who attend the seminar to ask questions and have an open discussion on these preliminary remarks. So I don't know if there is any questions. I can also give my PowerPoint if there is someone who wants to have it.
It is all, Prof. Excuse me, Prof. Finished or still some? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. Bocha, for the presentation about Kata Kolok and in especially the project, the research doing at Desa Kolok. This is the first time for me also to. I thought Kolok is a system of language, but it refers to the name of a village, yeah, in Bengkala. Okay, that's to all audience. Keep your queries, keep your questions. If you have any question about the content of Mr. Rocha's presentation, please be free to write on the column chat, yeah, or in the final session. In the final session, you will be given a chance to raise your hand and deliver your questions or queries about the topic of the three speakers. And keep your question and keep your curiosity. And then for the next presenter, we'll be going to Profesor Ayu. Niluh Putu Ayu Atnyani, ya. Okay. First of all, I would like to read curriculum vitae. She is a professor in Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha. Of course, she is native from Balinese. You can acknowledge it from her name. And then, wow, as usual, she is a lecturer in Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha. So a lot of data, a lot of statistic coding her activity in this topic here. I will read some of them about the research, yeah, about the research, because it is very complete and very thorough curriculum vitae. Okay, for the research, number one, pernah menulis dengan judul, the title of Penggunaan Supplementary Trilingual English Indonesian Balinese e-book untuk meningkatkan keterampilan produktif bahasa Inggris siswa sekolah dasar. Number 2, pengajaran bahasa Inggris bagi siswa tunarungu SLB di Provinsi Bali, analisis kebijakan, tinjauan kurikulum, dan proses pembelajaran. Number 3, pengembangan konten pembelajaran bahasa Inggris untuk siswa tunarungu kelas 7. Number 4, pengajaran bahasa Inggris bagi siswa tunarungu SLB di Provinsi Bali, analisis kebijakan, tinjauan kurikulum, dan proses pembelajaran. And so many researches, yeah. Okay, maybe if you want to know more about her, you can read the curriculum completely. But in short, she will mostly about kegiatan belajar mengajar terkait dengan topik-topik ini di ruang-ruang kelas. So I think from the perspective of this, Professor Niluh Putu will present his presentation right now. Okay, time and place will be yours, Prof. Please.
Thank you, Pak Arif. Good morning, Pak Heri, Ibu Ade, Ibu Emma, Ibu Ayu, dan speakers, Prof. Gaucek. I hope I hope I pronounce your name well, and Ibu Lenia. So good morning, also students and participants. And I would like to thank Team BRIN for asking me to be one of the speakers on this webinar session. So please allow me to share my screen. Okay, it is very hearing the presentation of Prof. Gaucek, it reminded me of what we did in 2021. Our research team from Undiksa was also doing some research in Bengkala, but later I will tell you we decided to leave it because we already we read there are many researchers and from national or international researcher are already researching or concentrating on Kata Kolok. So and then we dig some more information in schools. So we visited deaf schools and we tried to talk with the teacher. What do you need? What can we do for you? So that was our questions to the headmasters and the English teachers from the special needs school. So the topic of my presentation today might be a little bit about, because here I bring CB and Bisindo, so how the English teachers teach English as a foreign language in Indonesian context. And based on our observation interview, we see there is a conflict between the system Isyarat Bahasa Indonesia, the CB and Bisindo, but we try not to get involved deeply in this because our aim is to help the teachers how the English teachers will teach English to the deaf kids. And yeah, so and also the absence of an international sign. Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell briefly how we are, I myself started to get involved with the deaf students and also teachers and the deaf schools. So in 2018, I just had my PhD in my doctor in linguistics And it was 2017, and in 2018 I met a Dutch sign language interpreter who wanted to visit schools for the deaf. So we met, and then she asked me, can you bring me to deaf school? So we went to Bengkale, of course, because we heard there is a deaf community. We visited that school, and then we also I took her also to visit not only Bengkale deaf schools, but some government state schools that give lesson or provide the education for the deaf students. And then in early 2019, before the pandemic, I was when the Dutch ladies left, I was based on what our meetings in those schools. I was like, then I went to the school again by myself, and I especially here in the North Regency, to SLB1 Buleleng and SLB2 Buleleng, and I met the principal. We talk a little bit because I teach English at the English department study program, so then I want to concentrate on the English. So, and from this interview, this talk with the English teacher, we've got some information that the deaf kids learn Indonesian, Balinese, and English. So Indonesian from class 1, Balinese starting from class 4, and English is introduced in class 7. And then because, as I said, I teach English, then I talk with the English teacher. So I focus to English. And then I asked the English teacher, okay, by the way, can I join you to your class? Because I'm interested. And the teachers were so friendly and let me be with them. And what I observed, that I felt really sorry at the time, because the teacher told me they had no materials. So what he just came to the class and wrote words in English, basically just introducing like book, pencil, or apple, and then translated into Bahasa Indonesia. And what I found interesting at the time was that English was taught using the CB sign language. The teacher told me, we use CB, but another teacher said they use Bisindo. So these two sign languages exist in Indonesia. Some teachers use this, some teachers use the other. And then from this experience, and then pandemic came. It was really hard. But then during this, I remember 2020, I sat down with my colleague and we said, we have to do something for the schools. At least we concentrate on the English lesson. And then we decided, okay, let's make, then I said, let's make first a small dictionary, a dictionary that the kids can learn, that contains the picture, and then the sign language, and then the words. Initially, we wanted to include Bisindo. So this is Trilingual Dictionary, BCBISL, because I know here, I heard also before some Bisindo expert present in this room. I'm very happy because in 2021, it was pandemic, and we made this proposal and it was granted. And then we tried to find somebody who can do Bisindo. So with the CB, the teachers can do. ASL, we contacted a signer from Hungary. So because everything we did then via emails, WhatsApp, and everything. And then we because we say in our proposal for these three languages, Indonesian, Balinese, English, and then we found out when we interviewed the teacher, is there any sign language for Balinese? And I said, no, we don't have a standardized Balinese sign language. We teach the kids Balinese also with CB. And I thought like, now this is for me. I thought like, no, this is not parallel. The same like English. You can, I mean, of course you can. But I think, yeah, with the lip reading, then you, English, then better with also with something in English, sign in English. So we learned a lot, basically. Then we started to learn a lot, and from talking, discussing, and then we decided, okay, no standard Balinese. Then we decided, let's visit Bengkale. And then because in Bengkale, there is the Kata Kolok, and the Kata Kolok, the parallel is Balinese. Like, okay, the sign is Kata Kolok, but the words is Balinese when we write it. So then we decided to go there, and then that was our first project. Later I will show you what we made. And then I was this is what we do. And then we continued the project in 2023. I said, no, now we have to, I said, okay, at the moment we only concentrated in Buleleng, but then we said, no, we have to interview all the English teachers from all special needs school in Bali, at least the state school. So this is what we did in 2023. It was our first meeting with all the English teachers, with all the headmasters. They are all very friendly. They're really helpful. And even the education department from Bali province, from the Pendidikan Khusus and Layanan Khusus also supported us. We went there, and a representative from them really came. And in this meeting, all the teachers tell the problems. They don't have books. They have books, but the books they use to teach English for class 7 deaf kids, they use the same book as what for normal kids, regular. And I said, no, this is not okay. We have to provide them with something. They are early learners, class 7, they are 12-year-old, 13-year-old, but they're first learning English. This is their really first time learning English. We cannot give them the same book as class 7 for regular kids. This is torture. Then everybody, all deaf kids will hate English. Oh, the same with Balinese. Then if that is what happened. So then in 2023, we summarize what the teachers told us. So there's the curriculum, Merdeka curriculum, then book published, the teaching learning materials book published by the ministry, which is, I think this is for the normal kids. Teacher usually search for materials on the internet, teaching techniques, use of the grammar translation method, and a lot of drill and repetition. I think it is necessary. And use of visual materials such as pictures or real images, audiovisual, Google Translate. So they use a lot of Google Translate. Games. Even teacher has, sometimes they try to do games with the kids. So here, means of instruction, Indonesian and or CB, system is and the science language, one school, Bisindo is also used. So in most of the schools, most of the English teachers told us when they teach, so we collected English teachers and headmasters from each kabupaten, from each regency. We invited to Denpasar. We had this meeting in Denpasar. So every representative of each regency, and we visited the schools also. And the most interesting thing is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we visited each of the schools. Negara is the only one we didn't visit yet. But the one school in Denpasar, on the wall, the alphabet, both CB and Bisindo. So I think this is very wise, and that the school provide the kids with both. Okay, the alphabet in CB, they provide the alphabet in Bisindo, they provide, and then printed on the wall, very big. And then I think that's peaceful. When I see that, okay, this is great. Yeah, most of them use CB and classroom management. Most of the time, the classroom is very small because the kids, in Buleleng, for example, they have 5 to 10 deaf kids in each class. So language skills taught to the kids, mostly vocabulary and spelling. So not really what I saw since, because then since 2021, every Wednesday, I voluntarily join the English class in class 7 because I'm very interested, and the kids are very nice. They are very smart. So I fall in love with them. So until today, whenever I have time, every Wednesday, I will be there 7:30 in the morning for 1 hour. Yeah, and this is the challenges also from this meeting. We got all the problems. Most of the teachers, the use of sign language, most of the teachers, they don't have formal background in teaching deaf kids. So the English teachers mostly are from education. So from Undiksa, they have a degree in teaching English as a foreign language, but not really for kids with special needs. So that's why they have to learn the sign language self-taught. And here, the next is the absence of English textbooks or other materials for teaching for the deaf students. And sometimes, the teachers said they have weak memory, but I think it is not, from my experience, it's the same. They are very smart. If you teach them, some kids are very fast, some other kids can be a little bit slow, but of course, because of this deafness, we have to be patient in introducing new vocabulary or certain expressions in English or in sign language. Okay, so then here, from that meeting, this is also, we found the teachers.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ibu Nilo.
Yes.
Sorry, Bu.
My time is up.
Your PPT is not working, right?
Okay.
You see that?
Wait.
Oh.
Wait,
Okay.
then I will do something else. I will then use the wait, please give me 1 minute. Stop share. Desktop 2. Okay. Okay, then I will use the PDF.
Yes, PDF is okay also.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
That's right.
So, okay, this is the discussion we had.
Yeah.
And this is the result of the discussion. And from that discussions in 2023, we also, here, this is there. The teachers told us, now, they have a dilemma, because officially from the government, they are instructed to use CB as formal instructions in the classroom, in the school setting. But then they told us that the students, when they are outside the school, they use Bisindo to communicate. So the students also want the teacher to use Bisindo. But on the other hand, many teachers, they cannot use Bisindo. They are, because they are exposed to CB. They have training in CB. So there is a conflict here. And then, well, from many literatures, we then find out that CB actually adopted from American Sign Language, a lot of them. And we talked last year, we visited a deaf school in Surabaya, Karya Mulya School, deaf school. And one of the teachers also confirmed, because he said he was one of the person who are involved in designing the dictionary for CB. And he confirmed, a lot of the signs taken from American Sign Language. The Bisindo is more from the home. So some of them have the mother tongue. I think if I read the definition from Bisindo, then I have in mind, okay, then meaning Kata Kolok is also a Bisindo, because it's a mother tongue, it's home languages, it's developed from culture, environment, home environment, So, however, this policy of the Indonesian government, correct me if I'm wrong, then make the teachers in deep until today, they say like, oh, I have to use CB. Sometimes the students complain, not all, 1 or 2 students sometimes, Ibu, can you please use Bisindo, So in our project, I told the teachers in that meeting in 2023, okay, if in that case, we don't want to take side. For me, my doctor and master is related to bilingualism, how to raise children bilingually, how children develop bilingual, because our brain has the capacity to become bilingual. If it is trained since early age, many people speak 7 languages, some, at least 3. Yeah, so for me, if a child they know Bisindo from home, this is like to compare, I know Balinese from my parents, and then I go to school, I learn Bahasa Indonesia, okay, then the kid goes to school learning CB. And if they are competent in Bisindo and CB, this is perfect for me. I said, what's the problem? Then the child can learn both. And then if someone from Bengkale, they learn Kata Kolok, a child is trilingual. This is a very super situation. But I think, this needs to be, I think in the deaf community, in the deaf school, it should also be encouraged, this multilingualism, bilingualism. So in 2024, we continue our project and funded by the DRTPM still. So I asked my research team, some of them are students, and I said, go to YouTube. Which of the sign language that use English, I mean the parallel, is it American, British, or Australian? And then this is our result. American Sign Language has the most videos in YouTube. So then we decided, okay, we take ISL. When we go to the school, let's teach English and introduce them with American Sign Language. Why? Because the deaf kids, they communicate with sign language. And if we teach English, we introduce the American Sign Language, which is from many literatures, which is one of the international sign language used in international deaf meetings. So then they can communicate with international deaf, at least if the other also knows American Sign Language. And our idea is supported by the teachers. Yeah. And then we tried. So, and especially from SLB2 at the time, he said, yeah, my student was joining this competition, international competition, and he doesn't know English or other sign language than Indonesian. So I said, okay, then we will help you. At least for this, the deaf kids also can have the chance to go for international competition, international meetings, international events. So this is what we did in 2000. This what we did, this Kamus Trilingual we did in 2021. And then with the videos also, including videos and with printed. And then we just, in 2022, we tried to make a little bit, a small book for English American Sign Language. But last year we are more serious because the teacher said, oh, we want to have a plan. So we in 2024, we have meetings again with all the English teachers, and each of them give ideas. We do like, okay, now you decide what topics you want to learn to teach the kids. And we provide all this. So we make this, we make the LKPD, we make the module, and okay. And we also make a website. So I think 5 minutes and then I will be done. This one. Okay. So this is, we make all the exercise books for them. We also make a website. This is what also we made in 2024. And we try to, belajar bahasa Inggris and American Sign Language. And we are very thankful to the DRTPM for granting our research. And this is, we are from the language department, from IT department, and the students, the students who get involved, and also, and I myself, I learn American Sign Language from YouTube because I don't know anybody who can do American Sign Language apart from this Hungary guy, and who helped us in 2021. And when we tried to contact him again, I got no answer. Like the email is not there anymore or something. So then I thought, okay, I will learn it. So I learn it myself, so I can transfer my limited knowledge to the kids. At least they know the basic, I know the basic. We learn, I said to the teachers and the students, we learn together. Yeah. And so this is what we made. So for class 7, this is what we make, and then this is the video, and then with pictures. And so this is the Hungary guy. So he helped us. And this is our research team. So everybody learns. And then we also present for the kids. This is the equivalent is English, Indonesian, because still they learn a lot with this grammar translation method. So we try to provide it also in our, and then next they have quiz. So they see this is the sign, and then they have to check, is it fine, thank you. So this. And then when they finish everything, they can go to the next lesson. But I didn't finish everything, so I cannot go to the next lesson. So this is what we made. And of course, every teacher, I said to the teacher, you don't need to, when teaching students, it is not necessary that you finish, like especially to teach deaf kids. You cannot really stick in your program. You have to see how we have to see how each child develop. So some kids are faster, some kids are slower. And yeah, so, and this is last one. So this is our roadmap. This is our research roadmap from 2021 to 2030. And actually this year, 2025, we did this, that, and we have a plan. We made the proposal to the RTPM. We want to make an app, because now Indonesian government support inclusive education. So our research team, we always have the same research team since 2021. I said, let's make something. If a deaf kid go to a normal school, the teachers cannot use sign language. So let's make an app where the teacher can say a voice, can say the word, and then the output is in sign language. Entry, like in Kata Kolok, for Balinese lesson, and yeah, because no standardized Balinese, so we thought can be replaced by Kata Kolok if the government agrees or if the school agrees. This is up to them. And then, so that's our plan. So English, word in English, and the output will be in sign language. But unfortunately, Saturday, 10 days ago, we got an information, we didn't get our grant. So our project is not financed this year. Yeah, so I said it's a pity, because it's, I think, okay, it's a pity, but we cannot do anything about it. So that is all about my presentation. Thank you very much, Bapak Arif.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Niluh, yeah. How my first impression is so complicated, yeah. So complicated about this system of maybe I can ask you for can we is it different between deaf and students with hearing handicaps or something like that, or any in connotation maybe? Can we say deaf to them? Who Nilu?
Sorry, Pak Arif.
Can we call them deaf students, or we have to say to them students with hearing handicaps? So what is the difference in this before we going on to the next presentation? You get what I mean?
Yeah. Even in Bahasa Indonesia, we have many different terms. So before, the term used was tunarungu.
Yeah, tunarungu.
But
right.
recently, when I say tunarungu, some people protest. No, you can say tuli or siswa dengan hambatan pendengaran. So for me, I will accept anything. Yeah, if you protest tunarungu, okay, we don't say tunarungu, okay, students with hambatan pendengaran. So we perhaps there are some certain indicators, criteria why they change the terms from this time and the next time. So, and I think the deaf kids, they use tuli, not tunarungu, if I'm not mistaken, because they say tuli. The term for tunarungu, I think they prefer to say tuli. But currently, last year, we found, when we met in 2024, they say, okay, we don't use tunarungu anymore, but we say siswa dengan hambatan pendengaran. So, okay.
Okay. Pragmatically, it's very dynamic, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Let's come to the next presenter, Ibu Yeni Yulianti MA, ya. Akan saya bacakan sedikit terkait dengan profil beliau. Bu Yeni adalah peneliti di BRIN. Kemudian her research interests include culture, environmental, and climate change issues. Soal ekologi ya, ini saya mengikuti sudah lama Bu Yeni. Indigenous communities, persons with disabilities, this is very relevant to this topic, and other vulnerable groups. And for academic inquiries, you can contact her in email or WhatsApp. Maybe later we can give you the email and the contact. To make it efficient, please place and time for you, Miss Yeni Yulianti. Miss Yeni?
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Mas Arif. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are all in good health. My name is Yeni. My name is Yeni in Bahasa Isyarat. And this morning I would like to share stories about remarkable community, I think, our deep friends and their unique and expressive language, namely sign language. First of all, I would like to thank you for Bu Ade for the opportunity and challenge for me to share my experience this morning. To be honest, I feel a bit nervous, especially following presentation by two distinguished professors, Professor Charles and Professor Niluh Putu Sri, which make my knowledge feel quite smaller. But thank you for the very interesting presentation. I learned a lot, and I hope to visit Bali soon to experience the same story maybe. I would like to make a disclaimer. I will not be talking about Kata Kolok or EFL. I will try to focus sharing my personal experience from my interaction with the person and community, including moment when I have conducted some research or organized training session or facilitated event related to this community. I would also like to briefly introduce Bisindo, Mas Arif, which I view as a powerful form of expression that emerges from daily practices and is deeply rooted in what is often referred to as deep culture. Before I begin, I would like to let you know, as in this presentation, I will often switch between language, primarily in increased accessibility for the peoples. This is mainly to make the content more accessible for our friends, since in the context of interpretation in Indonesian today, using Indonesian can be more effective and to work better. Mas Arif, this as I need to get ready and get rushed to the airport. My flight has been moved up by more than 3 hours earlier. Sorry for that. Okay. Next, one of the questions that often come up when talking about the deaf community is, what different about the term tunarungu and tuli? Tadi sudah Mas Ari tanyakan ke Profesor ya di Bali. As explanation in the web of the Indonesian Sign Language Center or Bisindo. Hearing impairment, tunarungu, is a medical term used to describe a limitation of the sense of hearing, a disability that is not congenital and is often seen as something that must be fixed or optimized through various means in resemble hearing people. And deeply deep with the capital D or T in Tuli refers to the people as a community with their own identity, language, and culture. And next, this slide shows a few early memories from when I start spending more time with the community in Pontianak around 2015. We had often meet at local food stall or cafe, learning sign language while planning small event together. And one time we organized a basic sign language course with 10 sessions and a simple session, I think, and because so many people were interested, we end up repeating it a few times. Some people from those early bases are now working as sign language interpreter, which is really amazing, I think. We also celebrated the International Day of Persons with Disabilities together. On Carpri Day, our people, our community would join the crowd and teach sign language to anyone who interested. The photo on the bottom left is me with Laura. He is the head of Bisindo, Pusat Bahasa Isyarat Indonesia, and the top photo was taken right after Laura gave a talk at the language kongres bahasa yang diadakan oleh badan itu. At the bottom right, me was at a really special cafe. It's called Cabais, with stand for Cafe Bahasa Isyarat. The owner is deaf, and so is the whole team working there, deaf too. The next, why do we need to learn sign language? Because sign language can be used by everyone, especially to support inclusive communication. It also helps us become more expressive. Maybe, with they say, can lead to better health and greater happiness, I think. Another benefit is that it helps balance the left and the right side of the brain, which in turn can enhance intelligence. Learning sign language may also makes easier to connect with the people. Even conversation between hearing people can become more fun. Example, when you far apart, there is no need to shout. You can just use sign. It also useful for sharing secret, maybe. One friend even told me that when diving, knowing sign language is incredibly helpful underwater. At very least, there are some of the things we gain from learning sign language. Okay, now let's talk about Bisindo and CB. What is different? Tadi sepertinya juga sudah sempat diceritakan oleh Mbak Niluh ya. Before deep communities in Indonesia began actively campaign for Bisindo, most people here were more familiar with CB. CB stands for Sistem Isyarat Bahasa Indonesia, Indonesian Sign System. It was created by hearing people for the people, mainly to be used as a tool for instruction in schools. But according to many individuals, CB feels unnatural and complicated. It also uses only one hand, which is different from the way most the people naturally sign. In contrast, Bisindo is considered a natural form of communication among the people in Indonesia. Today, Bisindo is growing rapidly, not only through daily use, but also through observation and research, I think. Because it differs naturally, Bisindo varies from region to region, reflecting to local deep culture. It expressed not only through hand movement, but also facial expression, and body language. Okay, so this is how CB and Bisindo look different in practice. Please take a moment to observe. CB use only one hand, and Bisindo use your both hands. Learning this latter is really helpful, especially if we don't yet know much sign language. Usually, people like me will spell things out letter by letter, which can really help reduce misunderstanding. Okay, next. The question that might be interesting to discuss is sign language universal? Does it have the same vocabulary for all the people? The answer is no. Each region has its own uniqueness, and sometimes the people from one area and another may have different interpretation. In the next slide, there will be a story from a deep person about this and how they deal with the situation. Now, let's watch a video that features probably the most well-known deep person in Indonesia, Surya Sahatapi. Surya graduated with honor and gave a speech using sign language. In the video above, there are even two people using sign language. Just so we all know, they are using two different sign languages. One is Indonesian Sign Language, and the other is maybe American Sign Language or English Sign Language. From some interview I watching, Surya shared that in his campus in the US, communication with between deaf and hearing people is relatively smooth because everyone can use basic sign language, including shopkeeper and police official. We can imagine that at Surya's university, among 7,000 students, around 1,000 are deaf. The question for us is, what about university in Indonesia? Okay, next. In this video, we will see how the individual discuss a particular vocabulary sign that has a different hand movement and what happened when the sign is unfamiliar to the people in certain region.
Melalui DM Instagram ada seorang JBI baru yang bertanya tentang kosa isyarat. Dia sudah bertanya kepada kawan tulinya, namun kawan tuli tersebut menjawab sama-sama tidak tahu. Lalu caranya bagaimana? Sebetulnya dalam bahasa Indonesia setiap kata belum tentu ada bahasa isyaratnya. Ditambah fakta beragamnya bahasa isyarat di tiap daerah. Ambil contoh kata iman. Bila di Jakarta bahasa isyaratnya seperti ini. Namun di Palembang bahasa isyarat untuk iman belum ada. Gimana? Beragam kan? Lalu bagaimana solusinya? Kawan-kawan bisa buka buku KBBI. Contohnya kata iman yang belum ada isyaratnya. Kawan-kawan cari artinya di buku KBBI. Setelah ketemu kata iman yang artinya sama dengan percaya. Nah, percaya ada isyaratnya. Bisa seperti ini, bisa seperti ini. Kalau di Palembang, seperti ini. Kawan-kawan paham kan? Bila suatu kata belum ada bahasa isyaratnya, silakan cari artinya dalam buku KBBI. Setelah ketemu, sampaikan dalam bahasa isyarat. Apakah saat aku menjadi JBI pasti selalu benar isyaratnya? Belum tentu sih, kadang ada betul, kadang juga salah. Yang penting kita sama-sama belajar.
Okay, I haven't done in deep research on how extensive this regional different are. But based on my study last year, I found that between Medan and Makassar and Pontianak and Surabaya, there are indeed some vocabulary differences. It's also important to note how facial expression play a key role of deep communication. Gesture and lip movement are quite important. When it comes to the natural language of the people, especially those not yet familiar with Bisindo, Indonesian Sign Language, they often use gesture intuitively. They tend to point to object being discussed and out related activities. Similarly, when deaf people need to express a word that doesn't yet exist in sign language, they often rely on definition or subtitle from a dictionary, and then based on that, they create a new sign to represent the vocabulary. Okay? Oh, hopefully this is clear and easy to understand. Next video, let's take a look at how different access communication in public spaces now. A friend of mine named Jennifer once made a video about this, especially focusing on the presence of sign language interpreter on television. Let's watch a short clip.
Tampilan layar tancap. Jadi untuk saat ini mungkin kita sudah tahu bersama layar tancap sudah jarang, apalagi di ibu kota Jakarta. Dan nantinya kita bisa menyaksikan layar tancap dengan
Pasti aku butuh pakai gausnya besar. Pada zamannya.
Well, Jennifer is a very active deaf woman living in Jakarta. He is often invited to speak at seminars, appear on talk shows, and lead training sessions. In activities, Jenis heavily relies on sign language interpreter. She has a deaf husband and a hearing child. Their interaction as a family is truly inspiring for me. Seeing Jennifer family makes me imagine a world where communication between deaf and hearing people could be real. Now let's look at the photo in the top right corner. It's a video of an airplane takeoff where the announcement include a sign language interpreter. Some jobs are also becoming more deaf-friendly. We must still not yet fully equipped in enter such professional spaces. Take for example morning briefing in we attended yesterday. The head of BRIN announced new employee opening. 10 of them we reserved for people with disabilities, yet none were filled. I believe this is something we all need to reflect on. Okay, next. I would like to invite us to explore other aspects on the deaf community. In the video on the right, we see a case that occurred some time ago, where the individual questioned accuracy of sign language interpretation during a police event.
Dan kemudian pada saat itu telah dilakukan proses terhadap anggota yang jaga tahanan maupun penyidik, itu 15 orang sudah diproses terkait dengan kelalaian mereka dalam menjaga tahanan. Jadi ada upaya dari tanah lain, untuk mereka disiksa juga sampai penggep-penggep itu yang mana waktu itu muncul di Facebook kemudian rame, itulah yang kemudian menjadikan kasus ini tarik ke Polda Jabar. Jadi sama tahanan mereka saling pukul sehingga mereka lebam-lebam, dan terhadap anggota 15 orang sudah dikenakan tindakan disiplin. Ya. Bahkan di rutan juga salah satu tersangka mereka dipukuli bersama mereka sendiri.
Many deep friends felt that the translation were not accurate. Then Jasmine, a sign language interpreter who is considered to provide more accurate interpretation by the deaf community, share a comparison, demonstrating how certain interpretation were more acceptable and better understood by deaf audiences. This is a very important issue that should receive serious attention from law enforcement and even the court. Just imagine that what could happen if a mistranslation leads to misunderstanding, potentially harming the deaf party or even resulting in the wrongful decision. A few years ago, I conducted research on this issue, and it became clear that in legal context, deaf individuals still urgently need support and proper attention. Now let's watch the next video. Well, this is a very serious video because it's about sign language used in prayer. I once spoke to the people, and I was truly moved when they said, God must understand sign language and hear our prayer, and then answer them. Very touchful, and at that moment I was speechless. Okay, next. When do the people have a special day on their own? Maybe it's a good moment to watch this video from Surya as an added insight to the community. Usually on that day, the individual celebrate together and the place. We organize seminar and training session for rice fund. We raise fund by selling t-shirt and food. Later on, a fraud organization began to take interest and participate in community. Through this, we can understand to International Sign Language Day serve as a significant opportunity for the deaf community to showcase and celebrate their unique identity, linguistic heritage, and cultural values. Okay, thank you, Surya. Last but not least, from my experience interacting with the individual, there are a few things maybe I have come to understand some insight that might be worth reflecting on together. The first is our awareness of disability. And some group refer to use the term difabel differently, able instead of disabled. There are many, but not well suited to the condition within the community. The current government perspective is mostly still audism linguism. What is this? Audism is the mindset that hearing people are superior to the peoples. Hearing people feel entitled to decide what the people should do. And linguism is hearing people who speak Indonesian feel more superior to the people who use sign language. These people are not disabled merely because they cannot hear, but because hearing people cannot communicate with the people. That is what disables us. The people envision sign language as a language for everyone. And next, this is bonus. I'd like to invite all of you at least get familiar with the letter of Bisindo. It's very easy and fun once you learn it.
Okay, is that all, Miss Yeni? Excuse me, Miss Yeni, are you there?
Bayani is in the airport at the moment, so might be something happen with the signal, Mas Arif.
Okay. Let's continue to the next session for all the participants. And now it's time for discussion. Yeah. Please feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions about the topic has been presented by all the presenter before. Yeah. And to sum up from all the speakers, from Professor Gocek or Gocher, yeah, sorry if I misspell this, about the project, about the progress of the project he has been doing, and the continuation of the project, about the bahasa atau kata kolok, ya, kata kolok in Bangkala, in Bali. So it is from the perspective of sociodynamic research. And the second, from Professor Niluh Putu Sri Atnyani, from the perspective of activities, yeah, from the perspective of education. And then the last one's from Miss Yeni Yulianti, about her experiences practicing these sign languages and the system of Bisindo and CB, the difference between Bisindo and CB in Indonesia. So please feel free to all participants. If you have any queries, if you have any questions about that, you can write on the column chat ya, in the column chat, atau langsung bisa ditanyakan kepada presenter. Sebutkan nama, kemudian dari lembaga mana, kemudian pertanyaan. Silakan. Professor Goja, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yes, and then Profesor Niluh ya, masih ya?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And maybe Miss Jenny is still working out to fix the connection. Hopefully that she can join us up. Ya, teman-teman ada pertanyaan?
Mas Arif, sorry Mas, saya
Iya,
terlempar
iya.
dan sulit
Siap.
kembali dari
Iya.
laptop. Saya coba di HP baru bisa masuk. Aduh, maaf, mungkin bisa diteruskan ya Mas. Maaf banget ini nggak sampai selesai tadi ya.
Oke, oke. Pantas Miss Jenny, saya tadi cari-cari apa sudah selesai atau belum nih. Oke, Miss Jenny, sekarang kita masuk sesi diskusi. Ya.
Aku sambil bersiap ya Mas, maaf Mas.
Oke, siap, siap, siap. Nanti kita coba atur ya, Bu Yeni, kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan untuk Bu Yeni. Oke, ada satu resen di situ dari Pak Immanuel ya, Pak Immanuel. Saya buka sesi pertama ini 3 penanya sebetulnya. Misalnya ada lagi yang ingin bertanya, kami persilakan. Ya, sebagai informasi, mohon disebutkan nama, kemudian instansi atau institusinya ya, dari mana. Kalau mahasiswa ya mahasiswa, kalau misalnya profesinya apa, silakan disebutkan. Oke, sambil menunggu yang lain, mungkin bisa langsung saja ya. Ada satu kolom chat juga, pertanyaan di kolom chat, nanti akan kita bacakan. Ya, mungkin langsung untuk mengefektifkan waktu, kami persilakan Mas atau Pak Immanuel, silakan. Tujukan ke siapa?
Oke. Apakah suara saya terdengar jelas?
Mungkin agak mendekat atau gimana ya Mas ya? Agak kurang bersih, tapi sudah kedengar sebetulnya. Mungkin bisa lebih baik lagi ininya, kualitas suaranya.
Sekarang apakah sudah terdengar jelas, Pak?
Mantap, mantap. Suaranya udah clear. Silakan, lanjut.
Ini saya bertanya dalam bahasa Inggris atau Indonesia, Pak, sebelumnya?
Whatever. If you feel comfortable with English, you can deliver in English.
Oke. Jadi pertanyaan saya begini, Pak. Dari penjelasan para speaker atau para pembicara, bahwa sebenarnya sign language ini sangat penting. Tapi kenapa kita itu dari jenjang sekolah itu, khususnya di Indonesia, tidak pernah diperkenalkan atau diberitahu atau diajarkan tentang sign language tersebut. Apakah sign language ini termaksud dalam kategori bahasa yang tidak wajib atau dijadikan bahasa sebagai bahasa kemampuan seseorang tertentu, atau ini bisa menjadi bahasa yang sama secara general gitu, Pak? Seperti bahasa-bahasa lainnya. Itu saja, terima kasih.
Baik, sudah saya tangkap ininya, main idea-nya ya, pertanyaannya Mas Immanuel. Maaf, ini kalau boleh tahu ke siapa ya? Sebelum
Oh iya, maaf sebelumnya Pak, saya lupa memperkenalkan diri.
Siap.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Immanuel Sandiah Menangan, mahasiswa semester 2 Teknologi Pendidikan dari Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha.
Ini pertanyaan kalau boleh saya simpulkan ditujukan untuk semua ya, kalau mungkin bisa direspon ya.
Iya betul Pak, kepada semua.
Baik, mungkin bisa langsung direspon oleh pembicara sebelum saya bacakan untuk pertanyaan yang di kolom chat. Mungkin ke Prof. Gojek dulu. Prof. Gojek, if I may shorten or conclude Mr. Immanuel's questions, he has an impression from all the presenter here that sign language is important. It's very important language system, yeah. But why it is not obligatory? It is not obliged atau diwajibkan to be learned in every school, in any level. In order that all people, whether hearing or students with handicap in hearing, understand this. So why it is not wajib? Yeah, it is not obligatory. It is not obligatory to in every school. Maybe you can have any response about this, Prof. Goce.
Well, since I'm not Indonesian or nor Balinese, I cannot give you a political and contextual answer. Maybe the two other presenters will be more eager to answer, to give you a good answer. But in general, what we see all around the world is that deaf people are really isolated, and since a lot of people don't consider their language as a full and natural language, it's there we are still in the process of recognizing it as a normal or a regular language like French, Bahasa Indonesia, or Balinese.
Okay, that's the response from Professor Gojek. And then maybe this is quite appropriate, yeah, to have Professor Nilu responsible this, because I think she is closely related to this policy. Please, Prof, maybe you can have any response about Immanuel's question.
Oke, thank you Pak Arief. Oke, Immanuel, Adik Immanuel ya dari Undiksa. Why in the schools they don't teach sign language? Now you see that sign language is interesting, and then we can communicate with the deaf. Look, if we take a look at the current curriculum, the Merdeka curriculum from the ex-minister, if we read the curriculum, there are three, the Bahasa Indonesia, I don't know with the new ministry, the policy if they will design a new curriculum, but at the moment we still use the Merdeka curriculum. So in this curriculum, Indonesian language is wajib, obligatory. English is obligatory, but I think from senior high school, I don't know if they now make it obligatory, since in Bali it was since class 4. But many schools, they start it already as elective, like mata pelajaran pilihan, ya, from class 1. But many schools I know, they start to teach English from class 1. And this sign language is only used for instruction in SLB. Even with the inclusive education now, the only school that I know that is doing really inclusive education is SD2 Bengkale. I think Prof. Gocek also visited this school. I don't know if there are, maybe some schools in Singaraja, they do, what is it, for autism, but I don't know about deaf. I think that is the reason why sign language is not seen, I think, from my personal point of view, because of what Prof. Gocek just said, they are minority. So that's, I think, the reason why the government does not include the sign language as one of the languages that should be taught in school. Even if the government now imagine I am the ministry, yeah, in my dream. So even if sign language would be introduced, which sign language? Until today, the special needs schools who teach deaf kids, even they are on a dilemma. The government asks them to use CB, sign language. Many Tuli community, they want to have Bisindo. So even in that specific group, the conflict has not been solved. Or so this, because sign language are so various, like as Ibu Yeni said, from one area, Sunda, Java, this is like our the same. Ada bahasa Sunda, Sasak, Javanese, Papua, bahasa Sabu. I think it is exactly the same in sign language. Every community, they has their own sign. I think CB, I think the government wants to make CB like bahasa Indonesia for our language, yeah. Like bahasa Indonesia is the national language, and then we have many indigenous languages. But I'm really happy that the Bisindo community are very tough. Because look, sorry, it's a little bit out of topic now. What we see also, the trend, a lot of indigenous languages are fading. The national bahasa Indonesia is occupying. Many children now, they don't speak indigenous language anymore. They speak bahasa Indonesia from bilingual, like I was born bilingual, Bali and then Indonesia. Now many kids only speak bahasa Indonesia. That's very sad, because the parents don't use this anymore, the local language to the kids. So I think that's it, Emmanuel. I'm really sorry. I'm also sad about this, but even in the own school for the deaf, it's still a problem. They have conflict, I can see.
Okay, still have many, yeah, still have many problems, yeah, Prof, about about the instructional language of instructional and a policy of the government.
And also their materials from its need from its kid with special need. Actually, the government has to design materials for the specific need. Cannot be the same with the regular kids. So this is, like Emmanuel, you are from technology. you can visit them and ask the teachers, what do you need? And maybe with your technology competence, you can help them. Yes.
Oke,
Mas, mungkin aku tambahkan sedikit ya. Mumpung masih bisa ikut menjawab.
siap Bu Yeni ya.
Oke, ya.
Oke, silakan.
For Emmanuel, I agree that sign language is very beneficial to everyone, as I briefly mentioned earlier. But mungkin saya bisa tambahkan pengalaman saya bersama beberapa komunitas di beberapa daerah yang mungkin saya datangi, baik untuk research ataupun cuman untuk menemui komunitas-komunitas teman tuli ini. Jadi jika misalnya Emmanuel sekarang tinggal di Bali, pelajari saja bahasa isyarat di Bali untuk berkomunikasi dengan teman-teman tuli di sana gitu. Jadi misalnya Emmanuel nanti akan datang ke Jakarta, jadi bisa sekalian untuk berbagi bagaimana bahasa isyarat Bali gitu dengan teman-teman Jakarta. Nanti akan banyak hal-hal menarik jika misalnya ditemukan beberapa perbedaan ketika kita melakukan bahasa isyarat kosakata tertentu. Oh, ternyata di Bali ini begini, di Jakarta begini. Jadi kalau menurut saya memang kita pelajari saja bahasa isyarat di mana kita berdomisili atau banyak tinggal di situ gitu. Nggak masalah. Jadi teman-teman tuli itu mereka secara natural, secara alamiah itu mereka mengerti gitu. Nanti kalau misalnya ada perbedaan, dengan cepat mereka akan bisa menyelesaikan atau berdiskusi tentang itu. Teman-teman tuli sangat intuitif tentang gestur, mimik itu tuh sangat sangat kuat gitu. Jadi jangan permasalahkan kalau misalnya ada perbedaan. Mungkin itu tambahannya sedikit. Makasih Mas Ari.
Ya, thank you Miss Yeni. Ya, yang saya tangkap dari pertanyaan Mas Immanuel itu kan sebetulnya rasa kesetaraan ya, rasa kesetaraan. So we treat seperti yang diutarakan dari Miss Yeni tadi, ini bukan soal mereka tidak mampu memahami komunikasi kita, tapi lebih ke kita hearing people ya, hearing people atau dengan yang tidak memiliki keterbatasan pendengaran, bagaimana cara menyampaikan komunikasi kita, pesan-pesan kita kepada mereka, itu aja mungkin masalahnya. Jadi semangat kesetaraan ini mungkin yang perlu terus ditumbuhkan. Jadi siapapun bisa.
Setuju Mas Arif. Jadi tadi seperti yang saya highlight di kesimpulan di akhir itu, jadi sebenarnya kita membuat mereka menjadi disabilitas karena kita tidak paham dengan bahasa mereka gitu. Ketika kita kemudian menempatkan misal ya, ini juga cita-cita dan mungkin impian yang terlalu tinggi, kita tahu bahasa isyarat dasar saja, seperti yang dialami oleh Surya Sahetapi ketika dia kuliah di Amerika gitu, setiap orang itu tahu bahasa isyarat dasar gitu. Jadi teman-teman tuli itu tidak merasa susah untuk berkomunikasi walaupun secara standar atau tidak mendalam gitu. Jadi memang saya setuju sih. Terima kasih, Mas.
Oke. Begitu Mas Immanuel, respon dari para pembicara kita. Jadi mungkin buat insight, buat wawasan kita bersama. Dan semakanya saya pikir sama ya. Jadi the deaf students maupun yang hearing sebetulnya sama. Kita itu sebenarnya sign language itu universal sebetulnya, universal. Jadi tinggal kita aja yang mungkin perlu mempelajari itu. Kemudian saya pikir saya anggap selesai dulu. Nanti kalau misalnya ada yang ditanyakan bisa di sesi berikutnya. Saya beralih ke Bu Yulia dulu ya, yang dari tadi raise hand. Oke, Bu Yulia, sebelum ini ya, maaf teman-teman yang di kolom chat saya bacakan nanti setelah Bu Yulia menyampaikan pertanyaannya pada siapa dan silakan bertanya. Silakan Bu Yulia. Miss Yulia bisa langsung menyampaikan pertanyaan atau masih?
Saya dulu ya. Oke.
Oke, iya, silakan.
Thank you, moderator.
Mr. Arif, is that there are two basic questions that I think really important, refers to the phenomena of Kolok sign language and okay. Ya, udah nanya, tapi soalnya belum jelas ya.
Sudah,
Oke.
Teruskan, Bu. Silakan.
Belum lagi. Lanjut. Oke. Makasih. Saya lagi ya. Oke.
Iya.
Oh ya, siap. Ya. Okay. Thank you, moderator. There are two basic questions that I think really important, refers to the phenomena of Kolok sign language and also the Bisindo. Firstly, in regarding with the government policy, I want to ask a question. How does Indonesian language policy accommodate the existence of Kolok sign language as a cultural heritage? Yeah. Number one, how does Indonesian language policy accommodate the existence of Kolok sign language as a cultural heritage? Yeah, it related with the language policy of Indonesian government. And the second one is related with the implementation of Bisindo and Kolok sign language. What are the challenges and opportunities for teachers in adopting a bilingual approach, both Bisindo and Kolok in inclusive schools? What are the challenges and opportunities for teachers in adopting a bilingual approach? Maybe there are some differences between them. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you, Miss Julia. In order not to miss a single information about Miss Julia's question, maybe can be directly responded by the speaker.
Okay.
To whom your question will be delivered?
Yeah.
Miss
Okay.
Julia?
Yeah, Tuni Luh Putu Sri. Mrs. Luh Putu Sri. Thank you.
Okay. First, maybe it is closely related to Profesor Niluh Putu Sriatnya nih ya, untuk merespon pertanyaan Bu Yulia terkait dengan kebijakan pemerintah ya, the government policy to accommodate kata kolok atau sign language di daerah, khususnya di daerah Bali ya. Kemudian yang kedua, implementasi atau penerapan sign language dalam kegiatan belajar mengajar di sekolah ya, khususnya di daerah sana dalam konteks Bali ini ya. Hambatan dan yang dialami oleh guru-guru bahasa isyarat. Silakan Bu Niluh Putu.
Thank you, Pak Arif. Thank you, Ibu Yulia. What came to my mind in 2021 when we interviewed the headmasters and the English, the teachers, the English teachers and the teacher for curriculum. At the time, we found out that not only English, but also the Balinese language is taught with CB. Yeah. At the time, similar to English, at the time I already thought actually for as a teacher, I think because they said that there is no standardized Balinese sign language. But then, of course, from a lot of information, we know that Kata Kolok is one sign language exists in Bali. And at that time, that's the reason why we made the dictionary with CB, Kata Kolok, and ASL. Quietly, I want to we wanted to introduce also Kata Kolok to the school. And we gave this dictionary for free to the schools. And then we thought, okay, if the teachers teach Balinese, then the tandem, the parallel sign language should be Kata Kolok. Why Kata Kolok? Because there are no other sign language in Balinese that is officially recognized. So, and also that is one. And the second, we thought, if the government or if the schools, of course the schools, the headmasters, they have boss. Who are the boss? The teachers, they have the boss, the headmaster. The headmaster have the boss. Who is the boss? Departemen Pendidikan, or what is it? The Dinas Pendidikan Provinsi Bali. Now the question is, if all these headmasters propose, okay, can we teach Kata Kolok in the school when we teach Balinese language? This is perfect. And the second, oh, is it second or third? I'm always confused when I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Many indigenous languages are gone. Also in sign language. I don't know, Prof. Charles is doing now research in Bengkala. I don't know how many deaf kids are now using Kata Kolok, because he said less and less kids are born. And if this happen, one condition that a language will be extinct is when parents not use the language, and or if the speakers of the language are finished. So if the Bali government, especially the education department, will accommodate this, put Kata Kolok tandem with Balinese language, Kata Kolok will forever be there in Bali. And I agree with Ibu Yeni that all sign language produced or developed in each village should be introduced so that people can communicate not only to the students with hearing impairment, but also to us. And I learned a lot from the deaf kids in the school, because when I teach them sign language together with Pak Tegar, the English teacher, we learn together the American Sign Language. And when we introduce the sign and the English, the students try to tell us how they will sign it in their sign language. And I learned a lot from them. Oh, they are so sweet. I'm really happy. So this is, I think I answer both. So I don't know if there is no, if there is no movement, yeah, if there is no movement, there will be nothing. But of course, we Undiksa can also propose this, but it really depends on who is there now in the Department of Education. So I think this can be something that we can discuss in the school, because we also volunteer there. And yeah, it will be sad if Kata Kolok is gone.
Yeah.
So, and sorry. With yesterday, I spoke with the headmistress of the principal of SLB 2 Buleleng, Ibu Dewi, and Ibu Dewi said Balinese language now ada pergub baru ya. There is a new law from the Bali government. I asked her about this this copy of this law, but she said she will give me some other time. The new law from the not Indonesian government, the Bali government says that Balinese language should be taught in SLB, in special needs school, since class 1. And then I asked yesterday, and how are you teaching the Balinese language? With what? With CB. Yeah, that's the fact. So if this, but of course, meaning all the teachers, if we will try this, then all the teachers must have training, regular training in Kata Kolok, so they can transfer this to the kids. Yeah, I think in Buleleng here, some kids from Bengkale. So some, I think 2-3 kids from Bengkale also from who originally exposed in Kata Kolok also study in SLB 1 Buleleng. I think that's all from me, Ibu Yulia. Pak Arif, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Yeah, that's from the perspective of the government policy about the Kata Kolok. Yeah, me too, Prof. Can I similarize the position of Kata Kolok with other local languages like Japanese, like Batak, or like Balinese, something like that? So can we equalize the position of Kata Kolok with that? Prof. Nilu.
Oh yeah, you are questioning me.
Yes.
Yeah, well, what I see in Bengkale, yeah, Kata Kolok is their home language for the deaf in that language, and of course I mean, we are talking about deaf community. They have their sign language built from their home, from their community, from their village, and used to communicate for one another. So like my mother tongue is Balinese. It's a home language developed by our ancestors, and we use this in the home environment. So I think we, the hearing people, have also several indigenous language, and the same with the deaf community in Bengkale. They have their indigenous language, only it's in sign. We verbal, that they are in sign. I think it's similar.
Okay. I can gist the message. Okay, let's step to the next question. I will read the questions in the column chat. Yeah. From Martina, from Ibu Martina. This is a question for Professor Charles. Yeah. What makes Kata Kolok is different from other sign language? So this is the question from Martina. And then for the same question for the same person, yeah, but it is forward to Prof. Sri. How is the curriculum design for EFL for the deaf, yeah, for the deaf students? So maybe re-stress again, because I think Prof. Nilu sudah menyinggung tadi ya terkait dengan kurikulum. Mungkin bisa diperjelas. Pertanyaan ada di kolom chat, Ibu. Kami persilakan dulu. Yang pertama untuk Profesor Gocek ya. What makes Kata Kolok is different from other sign language? Silakan, Prof.
Terima kasih for the question. I'm not a linguist, I'm an anthropologist, so I will give you more an anthropological answer than a linguistic one. As an anthropologist, we can say that Kata Kolok has had few contact with other languages before 2000. So that means that it has developed in the village, in between people of the region of Kebutambahan, Bila, and other little villages around. So when we arrived, the first linguists just realized that there were some specificity Of course, on a lexical point of view, the words are very, very different from Bisindo or from any other sign language in the world because of this not related history. For example, American Sign Language has been brought to United States by a French deaf person. So those two, the French Sign Language and the American Sign Language, are really, really related, even though the languages of hearing people are not related at all. So there is no history of contact before very recently of deaf in Bengkalo with other deaf people. So that's why we say it's a native or an indigenous sign language. It has been developed with few contact with other communities. What the linguist said, I can just give you the information because I'm not a linguist. But what they saw is that Kata Kolok has some specificity other than lexical. For example, they have an absolute pointing system, which is a bit different from other sign language. So that means that when they want to talk of something in the environment, they point at the setting they want to stress us on. So if I want to talk of Denpasar, I will not say Denpasar like something very far. They will really point in the direction where Denpasar is. So this is a very specific, it's quite specific to Kata Kolok. We also saw some other differences recently. When I was learning it, I realized that sometimes deaf people in Menkala, they will use the two ends not as parallel or contiguous sign, which means that usually there is a one active N and one passive N in other sign language. But in Kata Kolok, sometimes both N are actives. So I think this is also a marks of some specificity of Kata Kolok. Of course, these specificity has been studied, but they need more study to be well understand. And just to make a link with the previous question, there's always a problem with recognition, language recognition, when there is not a formalized system. For example, Bisindo now is it's quite structured, and we well know how it works, and there's a lot of study that has been done on Bisindo and to formalize it. But in Kata Kolok, there is less study. So that's maybe why recognition of these sign languages are very, very difficult, because we still don't really know what they are in fact as a language.
Okay, thank you for the response, Prof. Itu Bu Martina, respon dari Prof. Gojek. Masih kalau boleh saya tangkap sedikit terkait respon dari Prof. Gojek, ini sepertinya masih menuju ke sistem yang satu sistem yang entah itu tetap menggunakan sign language ya, still use sign language, but it is not it is very, very specific for the people in Desa Kolok. Jadi apakah sign language itu representing the concept atau hanya istilahnya menunjuk bendanya saja? Itu sign language-nya. Jadi itu kita tunggu sama-sama hasil penelitian atau project yang akan dikerjakan oleh Prof. Gojek di Desa Kolok Bengkala ya, Bengkala. Baik, sekarang untuk Prof. Niluh terkait pertanyaan Bu Martina yang berikutnya, how is the curriculum design for EFL for the deaf students, Bu? Prof. Mungkin tadi sudah dijelaskan, mungkin bisa sedikit di sounding. Silakan, Bu.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Arif. Yeah, for English as a foreign language in SLB or students with hearing impairments, in the curriculum Merdeka, it is stated that English is taught as mata pelajaran pilihan. So it is up to the school if they want to teach English to the kids, and then if they decide, then the curriculum says that it should start class 7. So they don't teach English for basic school. For elementary school, they don't teach English, but English is taught starting from class 7. And so this is what we discussed in 2023 with the English teachers. So if they teach English in class 7, meaning this is the complete beginner. So we have to start with really basic English. The Merdeka curriculum is based on phase A, B, C, D. So then the English starts with phase A in class 7. So jadi kan di fase-fase itu ada umur ya, in the phase connected, its phase in the curriculum is connected with the student's age. But for English, we cannot treat the same. Misalnya fase D itu untuk fase C, fase D misalnya untuk umur phase D is for example for class 7, but we cannot use the same standard for English, so we have to go back to phase A. So that's what is the condition for English for the deaf students.
Okay, thank you for the response, Prof. And maybe Miss Yeni mau menambahkan sedikit. Silakan.
Mas Arif, sorry, this for Miss Yulia. As far as I know, there's has been any government policy regarding sign language lesson in school, maybe. But I believe the people have not given up on teaching sign language. I think they are very open, and it's us who need make the effort to approach them. This is a challenge for them, and of course for us, for those who support this community, I think. And the deaf community today is quite so many and growing, and there are even many cafes that offer sign language learning for those who want to interact with the people. However, for simple vocabulary, it can more to learn through YouTube maybe. This all my Mas Arif for Miss Yulia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the response, Miss Yeni. Okay, actually there is another question from Mas Immanuel, yeah, from Mas Immanuel. Maybe I can read. I want to know why we are just not make an international sign language. I mean, like English language, yeah. And what we as people who cares about this problem can do. Ini sepertinya sudah disinggung oleh Bu Niluh Putu tadi terkait apa yang bisa kita sumbangkan untuk kontribusi apa yang bisa kita lakukan tadi ya untuk sign language ini. Itu bukan pertanyaan sepertinya, tapi silakan Bu direspon di kolom chat, Prof. Niluh dari Mas Immanuel.
Well, there is an international sign. So I read from literature. If I think also Ibu Yeni mentioned Pak Surya Sahetapi a lot, yeah. He at the moment studies in America, or I think he graduated from a university in America. I'm sure in his study he used American Sign Language. For example, the Gallaudet University. So, and I myself learn Oklahoma Sign Language for the Deaf. So I took a 1 semester course from Oklahoma Sign Language for the Deaf. This is a free course. And during the spring, I joined this course for 6 months. So, but from literature, I read there is an international sign, but I never learned this international sign. But also, it is mentioned that American Sign Language is one of the tools of communications used when international deaf community meet. Maybe they have conference or events or sports activities. Then international sign is used, and also one of this is American Sign Language. That's from what I have read from many literatures. So there is international. Only in Indonesia it is not in the curriculum. Again, it is not mentioned in the curriculum that students, or also students for the deaf, have to or can learn as mata pelajaran pilihan in school, either international sign or American Sign Language. Yeah. Thank you. I think that's all what I can say, Pak Arif.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much, Profesor Niluh Putu Siatnyani, Profesor Gocek, Miss Yeni Yulianti, for valuable and distinguishing presentation discussing about especially kolok ya, bahasa kolok, kata kolok and Bisindo, bahasa isyarat Indonesia ya, bahasa isyarat Indonesia. A little bit because this is a new topic for me also. So to conclude to sum up all the presentation, that we still have so much work, so huge effort to do in the future to develop this sign language, especially in Indonesia. So semangatnya sama, yaitu kesetaraan buat saudara-saudara kita yang mengalami hambatan pendengaran dengan yang istilahnya normal ya, yang tidak memiliki keterbatasan pendengaran. So we have the same right dalam bidang pendidikan maupun dalam keseharian. Saya pikir waktu kita sampai di ujung, so we end up this forum because at 11 ya, kalau nggak salah Bu Emma ya. Jadi sampai di sini diskusi kita. I hope that we can get much from today's discussion from our distinguished presenter about this quietly new topic. Yeah, hope that it is beneficial for us to broaden our horizon and knowledge And thank you so much for the presenter, for all the presenter, and the participant also. We can see hopefully in another occasion. Thank you so much, and mohon maaf kalau selama memandu acara diskusi saya melakukan banyak kekeliruan atau kurang berkenan. Kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya kembalikan ke Bu Pewara ya, Bu Emma. Silakan Bu Emma.
Oke, terima kasih Pak Arief. Oke, dear audience, the webinar is already finished. We'd like to thank Mr. Prof. Charles, Professor Nilu, and Ibu Yeni for the presentation. And as the presenter, I'd say sorry for any mistakes I made. Thank you very much for joining the webinar and see you in the next webinar. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you very much.
Terima kasih
Terima
Prof.
kasih.
Terima kasih Bu Yeni semuanya.
Terima kasih
Teman-teman
banyak.
semua.
Terima kasih semuanya. Ya.
Ya, terima kasih Prof. Gocer, terima kasih Bu Sri, Prof. Sri, terima kasih banyak, dan Ibu Yuni juga, Bu Yeni juga, mohon maaf. Terima kasih atas ilmu yang telah diberikan kepada kami semua yang hadir di sini. Semoga ilmu ini sangat bermanfaat untuk kita semua. Ya, selamat siang dan sampai jumpa pada kesempatan selanjutnya. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih semuanya.
Terima kasih Mbak. Terima kasih Mas Arief, Mbak Emma.
Sampai jumpa.
Foto-foto,
Ya, sama-sama.
foto-foto,
Oh, ya.
foto sesi foto enggak? Belum, Bu Ayu.
Mas isi foto kah? Mas Bayu?
Tidak
Ya.
ada.
Ada, sebentar.
Ada.
Yeah, we take a picture for all audience. Please open your camera.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Nggak ada dulu.
Kenapa? Lagi?
Oh, dia ada 6 ya.
Iya, ada 6 page ya. 1, 2, 3. Tiga lagi ya, Bapak Ibu. 1, 2, 3.
Sudah Mas.
Ya, baik, sudah cukup. Terima
Oke.
kasih.
Terima kasih
Terima
semuanya.
kasih. Terima
Ya,
kasih.
terima kasih semua. Terima kasih.
Ya.
Terima kasih Pak Dewa.
Terima kasih Pak Dewa, Mbak Ayu, Pak
Terima
Arief,
kasih Bapak
semuanya.
Ibu. Bu Sri.
Sama-sama Pak Dewa, makasih banyak ya Pak Dewa.
Mari,
Terima kasih
terima
Pak
Terima
kasih.
kasih
Dewa.
Prof.
Sampai jumpa lagi Bapak
Prof.
Ibu.
Charles.
Terima kasih banyak untuk
Ya.
semuanya. Pak Emma dan teman-teman semua. Terima kasih.
Ya,
Saya
sama-sama.
Kapus, terima kasih.
Ya, terima kasih Mas Arief. Maaf ini saya lagi di acara juga. Terima kasih.
Siap,
Ya,
siap,
terima
siap.
kasih Pak Ajay. Ya.